Ladies and gentlemen, I am your captain, guide, and friend, Dalton Rutlinger. Welcome back to Sailwind. This is going to be the very beginning of the Mail Courier series that I've been kind of teasing on my channel. And before we dive into it, I want to go over some of the rules that I have for this particular playthrough. Number one, this is going to be a semi roleplay series, which means that we're going to be playing as a certain character. The character is going to have like some rules that he's going to have to follow. We're going to be playing it as if he was actually living his life, as it were. So, rule number one, we have to start at Fort Aestrin, or in the Aestrin region. Reason being is because I like the look of the cog for this. The cog, I think, is going to be a really good ship for this sort of playthrough. Eventually, we might buy the brig. That remains to be seen, though. Um, Tools can only be purchased from Fort Aestrin, so that means that all the tools and certain supplies that I can buy are going to be from the Aestrin region. I can't buy navigational tools from, say, the Emerald Archipelago or along. It has to be from Fort Aestrin itself. Um, Ships can only be outfitted at Fort Aestrin as well. So whenever I go to a different area, or if I go to a different capital city, I can't purchase upgrades to the ship. I can maybe have the ship cleaned off, but I can't modify the ship however I want. The reason being is because I'm viewing this as I'm working for a company, right? And the company can't have their ships outfitted in other regions. They can only have their ships outfitted in the Aestrin region. So, yeah, if I go to a different area, I can't have my ship. I can't have, like, different sails put on my ship. I can't uh, modify the ship in any way outside of maybe just cleaning the hull off and then calling it a day. The reason being is because it's aesthetically not going to be my ship. I'm working for a company in this, so the ship is uh, very much company property. It's not my own. The ship must remain clean. That's pretty self-explanatory. Siren Song will be the home base, which means the starting island that we have is pretty much going to be where we try and call home as much as we possibly can. The Aestrin region will be home for the most part, but we'll try and anchor at or more at Siren Song as often as possible. That way, our character at least has 1 maybe 2 days off whenever possible. And Fort Aestrin, or not Fort Aestrin, Siren Song is going to be like the home of this character. He grew up on Siren Song. He's always wanted to sail the seas, and the first job that he was able to get was a mail courier for the local post office. That's basically how this is going down. Um, I can only transport mail. Other items are going to be strictly prohibited. So that means that if I am carrying something that is not mail, I'm going against company policy, right? I'm only allowed to carry mail. If I start doing uh, trading, that's going to be considered smuggling, which means that if someone were to find out about it, the character would be at minimum fired and might face potential jail time as well. That's not a feature or a mechanic that's in the game. That's just basically roleplay reasons. That's kind of the reason why I'm just going to be sticking to mail. It gives me a reason to just stick to mail, basically, because the character doesn't want to go to jail. He is a law-abiding citizen. He has no interest of doing anything that goes against company policy, basically. Food can be purchased from anywhere else. So if I go to another port, which I think this is perfectly reasonable, I don't think any company would want their employees to, suffer out there on the ocean due to lack of food or whatever. Supplies can be bought at other ports, so I can buy uh, firewood, I can buy fishing hooks, I can buy food supplies. I can't buy navigational tools. I can't buy uh, like trade goods. I can't buy uh I can maybe buy some souvenirs. So, for example, the wind chimes, just as an example, that you get at the Emerald Archipelago, I can maybe like consider those souvenirs to put on my ship just to kind of indicate that I've been to certain areas. But outside of that, I can't really buy anything from these other regions. So it's basically just going to be food, firewood, fishing hooks, maybe some lanterns. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, if anybody else can think of any rules, feel free to comment them down in the comment section. This is actually giving me kind of a cool idea for another series later on after this, which would be basically you guys are the boss. So basically, I'd have to go to someone would comment what supplies they want me to take and where to take it, and then I'd have to do it. But that'll be for a different time. So right now, let's go ahead and just kind of dive into a new game. This save right here is the Tea Merchant. I still have that. I also want to mention that I have some mods. Some of them might not work, but some of them do. After testing, I can confirm at least 2 or 3 of them do. But some of the mods, I haven't had a chance to actually see if they're working or not. So this is our ship. It's not our ship, it's a company ship. It's a ship that we've been provided after doing some work for the post office for a while. Uh, this is what I'm gonna call the post office, just for sake of, you know. It's a post office that receives and sends many, many, many things, but the only thing that I am legally allowed to take is mail. So, yeah. So with this start, we don't start off with a lot of money to purchase other items, but what I can do is I'm going to go ahead and follow the same strategy of what I had going on with the tutorial videos, which is I'm going to sell all this stuff. Actually, should I do that? This technically isn't my stuff, is it? This is company stuff. So yeah, this is technically stuff that belongs to the company, so I probably shouldn't sell it. Or maybe, here's an idea. Oi, Jeff! Jeff up here at the post office. Jeffy boy, do you mind if I sell that table and that map and other things on board the ship? I'll take your silence as a no. Also, I just realized this guy's wearing armor. I played this game for how long, and I'm just now noticing he's wearing, like, like, Templar armor? Huh, okay. The more you know. So, he didn't protest against me selling this stuff. So, the logic behind this character, by the way, is that number one, he's always wanted to be a sailor, right? Being a sailor is something he's always dreamed of. He's lived on this island his entire life, and he's watched the ships come into come into port. During all of his childhood, he would hang out like outside of the tavern. He couldn't go inside, but he could just kind of stand outside. Like what he'd do is he'd stand like right here and just kind of listen in on all the stories the sailors and whatnot were talking about, and he'd try to and envision himself in those stories, doing all those incredible things. So this is basically a dream come true. Now he's worked for the post office for a number of years, just doing like mail sorting. He's like done some cleaning. He's become friends with the main boss, and the boss has even taken him out on occasion to learn how to sail the ship and how to use the navigational tools. So he's not going into this completely blind. He knows the region fairly well. I imagine he's also been kind of served on a crew, so he can kind of get the ropes of what's going on. So what I'm going to do, we've been given permission now to sell all of this stuff that we technically don't need. Let me also go ahead and sell the table. The reason I'm doing this is because I'm trying to make some room. Because right now we only have one piece of cheese to our name in terms of food. But I'm also going to go ahead and sell this. That was actually fairly expensive for a mug. So yeah, we've got 481 Aestrin crowns. If I wanted to, I could probably go like straight down to the capital city and put a gaff on it, but I don't think we're quite ready for that. When did we get apples and carrots? Okay. Well, first things first. Let's buy some cheese. Let's buy some food supplies. But let's also go ahead and... Well, first, before I run out of money, let me go and buy a bottle of water. In fact, I'm going to buy several of these. And, I think I'm also going to go ahead and buy several apples. In fact, actually, you know what? I'm going to buy some carrots. Basically, buy all of the apples. Buy as many things as we can get, because our character can get sick. And this is one way to avoid, I guess, scurvy, is by having plenty of fruits and vegetables. Okay, so let me just drop all of this stuff on the floor right now. I'm making a mess of things, but I don't care. There we go. You can go in there. You can go in here. Oh, I don't have enough room for everything, but that's fine. Okay, so that's going to be very important later on. There's some things I want to test out with the new cooking stuff and whatnot. Things that I didn't really show in the tutorial series that I just did. And by the way, guys, I'm recording this on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, so if you're in a country that celebrates Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving to you. I hope everything goes perfectly safe. If you're traveling, I hope you're perfectly safe in your travels. I hope nothing takes you by too much surprise. If you're flying, I hope and pray that you remain safe and sound. I hope that you get to your families and you have a great Thanksgiving. But you won't be seeing this until probably Monday. You know, before I onboard the ship, maybe I should go and get a job. That might be a good idea. What do you guys think? I think that sounds like a splendid idea. And to be fair, I'm actually a bit richer than I thought I was. I could buy something else. I'm debating on fishing supplies, honestly. I don't know if fishing supplies would be something that the character would actually be interested in, at least not yet. Hmm. Actually, I will take a quadrant. Quadrant will be useful sooner or later. It won't be useful in the immediate future, at least not yet. But it's just one less thing I have to worry about buying in the future. And the character probably knows that sooner or later he's going to need one of these as well. So it's not too out of character, I don't think. I think he would know that sooner or later quadrant is going to be something that he would want. Because I imagine the boss has told him he wants him to start off by just sailing, you know, the current, the local area. He wants him to sail the Aestrin area. Just to kind of get some experience under his belt. But for right now, let's go in here. Okay, so we got mail to Sunspire, Mount Malefic. We got sail to... Okay, I can't take anything else. I got sail to... I've got mail to. So we got mail to Mount Malefic, due in 5 days. Lovely, lovely. And put you right there. Then we can put the mail for Sunspire right on top of it. In fact, I'm going to put it facing up like this, because it's got the postage on one side. So let's do that. And then we can do this. Lovely. Now, before I forget, let me ask you guys one thing. I know that my clicking on my keyboard is very audible in my videos. I do apologize. I don't have a really good microphone, but if anybody has any suggestions for a new microphone, I am totally open to hearing any suggestions because I want to make the videos become more and more professional as time goes on. I'm not a professional YouTuber by any stretch of the imagination, and it could happen. I'm not going to rule out the possibility completely, but it's a long shot at best. All right, like, would it be nice? Absolutely. I'm not going to say it wouldn't. I don't think anybody would say it wouldn't, but that doesn't mean I can't have decent quality videos. You know, one thing I think the company wants me to do is get rid of the castle sooner rather than later. Because I wouldn't mind just going straight for the other cabin. We are going to have a cabin. I'm not going to have the ship be like it was previously with the cog-only challenge that I did recently. The boat is going to have a cabin on it. The character is going to have a place where he can take shelter from the elements and shelter from the sun and whatnot. He's going to have a place where he can get some shade and you know, have a cozy little home away from home, basically. You know, I guess I could have bought a broom. I didn't think about that, but nah, I'll do it whenever I come back. Yeah, I'm so excited for this series. It's gonna be full of challenges. It is gonna be seriously full of challenges. It's gonna be so much fun. Um, there's really just not a way of putting it. This is gonna be the first series where I've actually like made some rules for myself. Like I described at the very beginning of the video. You know, this character, he's not his own captain. He is, but he's not. Like he is allowed to make certain decisions out here to keep himself safe, but he's not allowed to just spend his own money. Or, well, okay. So the way I'm kind of viewing this is eventually, whenever he has like enough money saved up, he'll put some of the money back into gold lions, right? And that'll be money that is his own, right? This is going to be basically company currency, and whenever there's something just kind of like whenever we reach, say, 1,000, I'll put some of it back into gold lions. But by and large, this is going to be company currency, which means that it's going to be the company that's buying him food supplies and the like. It's not going to be coming out of his own pocket. Which I think makes sense. I mean, it is the company's obligation to supply and maintain their ships. It doesn't come out of the captain's own personal paycheck. Alright, so let's be on our way down here. And I'll tighten that a bit more, actually. There we go. And let's go ahead and open this up. And let's get some speed under our belt. Now, this crate is going to be extremely important for us because this is going to be how I'm storing my food from pretty much this point on. I'll probably have another crate for, meats and stuff, but for the most part, I'm going to be buying things like raw meat from the markets because I want to kind of test out some things with like the salting, the smoking, and the cooking and stuff like that. I did some of it with the cog only challenge, admittedly, but I kind of just thought of this idea recently where we store our food separately. Um, eh, I'll wait to eat the cheese. I will, however, drink some water. But yeah, I've just got some things I want to test out with because I think I'm not going to buy individual crates of food. Basically, whenever I go to a market area, I'm going to have 2 crates of food, and I'm just going to like completely pack them jam full. Maybe 3 crates of food. I might have a place for fruits and vegetables and things like cheeses, and then I'll have a crate just of nothing but meats. And then at some point, I'll have a stove. Actually, probably a smoker. Or maybe both. I don't know. We'll see how things go. But another thing that I can't do is I can't just outfit the ship willy-nilly. I have to get permission from from the boss, from the actual owner of the ship. Um, I don't know how I'm going to do that yet. It might be someone in the comment section, actually, like a regular commenter. I might just kind of be like, hey, do I have permission to upgrade the ship to this? And they can say yes or no. It might be kind of a fun way of engaging with the fan base, actually, or I'll just stick with fan base. It might be a bit egotistical for me to call, subscribers to the channel a fan base, but if you're watching my videos, I think it's fair enough to say that you're a fan of some description. I don't think that's too terribly out of line, but I don't know. Like, you can be a Markiplier fan, right? Because Markiplier has a huge, huge, huge channel. But can you really be a Dalton Rutlinger fan? I don't know. That's the kind of setup I want right there with the gaff sail. It's just going to make this region so much easier and more manageable. So I'm thinking maybe every 7th day, if we're here, we might give our character a day off. If we are around Siren Song. But even then, if we are on land and it's a 7th day, like let's say it's a Sunday, day of rest, following the Christian religion, we'll let our character take a day off, or maybe even like a week off from land every once in a while. We'll kind of give him a miniature vacation. We don't want to work him to death or anything, America, but he also needs to make a decent amount of money too. Are we catching up to this ship? I think we are. So the mods that I've got installed are okay. Well, I've got a lot of mods installed, but I don't know if some of them are working. I've got someone on Discord who's trying to help me out, but among some of these mods are refillable barrels of water, which means that I can set a barrel of water out into the deck, and whenever it starts raining, the barrel will refill, which is pretty cool. It's a little immersion thing. That's what most of the mods are going to be, just little immersion things. I have a mod that's supposed to add in sea creatures to the game, so we can see like whales and dolphins and things like that. Um, I have again, I don't know if some of these mods are working. I haven't seen any indication that they actually are. If they are, I just haven't seen it. But I have another mod that I know works, which is the idle fishing mod, I believe. Basically, I can just throw a fishing hook overboard, and it will just automatically catch a fish, and then I can just reel it in and then like put it away. There are other mods that add in just random encounters, things like that. Like we might come across sunken ships, we might come across eerie fogs that have no wind, other sea creatures, numerous things. Just quality of life improvements basically are the mods that I've installed, just because I played the game vanilla enough. I think I'm ready to add in a bit of flavor to it. Now the game vanilla is great. Don't get me wrong. I love this game in vanilla. But I did see a mod that allows you to create your own lands and archipelagos and things. I don't know if it works. I didn't install it. I need to do a bit more research into it, but that would be a really cool thing. And at some point, I need to do a Scrambled Seas playthrough. That might maybe that'll be what happens next with the series where you guys are the ones telling me what cargo to take. That'll be another fun one. I think it'll give me a chance to really engage with the community a lot more, or the commenters a lot more. Have a chance of like really building up my fan base and like really engaging with the community. All right, I'm going to go ahead and go to sleep, and I'll see you guys in the morning. Oh, well, good morning, everybody. The sun isn't quite up, but it's pretty evident that it is coming up. Um, so another mod I forgot to mention was the shipyard expansion mod. It basically adds in a lot more customization options to your ship. I don't know what options will be available for the cog. I've only seen the sandbuck thus far. But it'll be worth exploring, I think, whenever we start heading back up to Siren Song. Now, another thing I thought about doing was all the mail has to leave from Siren Song and has to go back to Siren Song. Um, that's just an idea for right now. If there's no mail that's going back to Siren Song, then, so be it. I mean, mail has to flow regardless. But ideally, the character would want a reason to go back home and potentially spend time with his family and whatnot. At some point, I need to sit down and actually start writing that novel too. The problem is, I haven't written anything for years now. The last thing I wrote was a fantasy book called Mages of the North, which is no longer available because I've taken everything down just because I was kind of done with it. Um, and I've tried sitting down and writing the novel, but it's just kind of hard now. I'm still kind of haunted by the memories of the past. Like, I tried writing books in the past, and I got scammed out of thousands and thousands of dollars, and the memory is just still fresh. And it's a shame because I used to love writing. I used to love like sitting down and just imagining all these characters going on all these adventures. It was another way of escaping reality there for a while, but now it's more of a chore than it is anything else. I still do a bit of world building on occasion. Like I have this uh, continent that I've been working on for probably since I was a sophomore in high school, maybe even a little bit sooner. Um, it's called Atlassian. It's for my Chris Linhart series. Basically, picture anywhere where there's water on the face of the planet, right? Well, beneath all that water? I'm turning British now. All that water, there is this huge empire called Atlasia, where the Atlassians are fighting another organization called the Deep Ones. Well, it's not even an organization; they're just like a society, I guess, of like cannibalistic mole people. And the only reason they haven't found their way to the surface is because the Atlassians are fighting them. The lore is extremely in depth, and I still work on it on occasion. It's still one of the many things I enjoy doing whenever it comes to writing is just world building. Like, I can come up with the most detailed lore and world that you can imagine, but whenever nobody wants to read it, it's like, well, what the hell's the point? I'm just wasting my time. You know? Because once upon a time, I would have loved nothing more than to become an author. Um, I have an absolutely wild imagination, I feel, or at least I used to, and it sucks to not be as imaginative as I once was, but every once in a while I'm asked why I don't write anymore, and one of the big reasons is because I found out that people were just buying my books so they could have me sign it because for whatever reason they thought the book was gonna like make it big, which was never the intention for it. I mean, would it have been nice? Would I have said no to the books becoming a movie or something? Absolutely not. But it was a long shot at best, and I was writing mostly just to tell a story. But whenever I find out that people are just buying the books just so I can sign it, it just kind of damages my drive to continue writing. Like, what's the point of me writing it if you're not going to read it? Like, I didn't spend 6 years of my life working on this book just so I can sign, like, the front page of it. Then you can put it on a bookshelf for it to collect dust for the rest of its life. But, yeah. I suppose that's how life goes. At least now I can kind of tell stories through my YouTube channel. I do have a way of making comics, which might be kind of interesting, but it's not exactly easy to do. Actually, do they sell brooms here at Sunspire? I don't remember if they do or not. But while we're here, I'm going to hit up the market and buy some food and some water. There you go. Do you have any missions going to... Mail to Mount Malefic. Very good. I'll pick that up since I'm already going there. And you know what? It's raining, so let's put the mail like back here so it's not getting rained on. I think that's something that makes sense. Okay, let's also go grab a bite to eat without digging into our actual food supplies on board the ship. Maybe talk with the townspeople here. Fish, no thanks. Honey beer. You know what? A couple sips wouldn't hurt. Just one beer won't really do too much to you. Oops. Gosh darn it. Let me sell you the bottle. Okay, let's see here. I'll have some bread. I'll have some cheese. And give me an apple. I guess that's it. I didn't see a place where they're selling a broom, which is unfortunate, but no well. The company didn't supply us one, gosh darn it. Firewood, water, lamb, and just a bunch of cheese. Okay. I think that's everything from here. Works for me. Alright, let's be on our way to Mount Malefic, then we'll grab a mission going back to Sunspire. Or not Sunspire, Siren Song. I always get the islands mixed up. I don't know why I do that. It's kind of annoying, but no well. Nothing I can do about it until I get a brain that actually works. But even in the event that actually does happen, I don't know if I'm going to know what to do with it. Because I'm not that smart. Okay, I think it stopped raining, so we can... Wait, did it stop raining? It didn't stop completely, but I don't think it's raining enough for it to really make any kind of impact on the males, so let's just go ahead and bring them back out here. But yeah, any challenges that you can think of would be very welcome. If you have any ideas, I'm not the type of person to like just rudely shrug them off. I'm not going to promise that I'll follow through with them, but I would love to hear ideas from you guys. It's hard for just one person to come up with everything. You guys could think of something absolutely amazing that I didn't think of, and it'll just kind of hit me like a truck. Like, why didn't I think of that? You know? Did we start off with black sails? I'm not complaining if that's the case. Like that, I love black sails. But for a mail courier, I don't know. I kind of feel like white sails would be the better. Oh, you know what? Blue sails. Blue sails would... I'll have to think about that. I'm trying to think of just like something that might be completely out of the box or outside the box and just be absolutely legendary. Because here in the United States, the USPS has a blue banner, basically. And I'm kind of going along with that. That as the idea. Like, if it's blue, it means male. Blue also means there's sharks in it. If anybody gets that reference, you're a legend. Hey, you know what? I'm going to get a drink real quick, but I shall leave you guys with a fantastic view of Mount Malefic while I'm gone. Lovely. Eh. I wonder if we'll make that today. Probably not, but it is officially day one our of our journey. Day one of our brand new career. I guess technically yesterday was our first day, but it's our first full day. It's already 9:30. Good lord. Glad I'm recording this on what is essentially a Friday. It's a Wednesday, but it feels more like a Friday because I don't have to go to work tomorrow. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving, after all. Let me give a huge shout out to everybody who has to work that holiday. To all our emergency responders, our military servicemen, pilots, air traffic controllers, correctional officers, doctors, nurses, and many, 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 many other people. Gas station service, gas station workers, truck drivers, train engineers, so on and so forth. The list goes on for miles. So yeah, thank you to everybody who is working the holidays. I'll be honest, if I had the option, I would probably work them myself because the holidays make my job an absolute nightmare. For anybody who's new to the channel, I work as a garbage man for my city, and we're off during the holidays, which means we have to go through a very stressful time during the holidays trying to get caught up. During Thanksgiving, it's not so bad, but Christmas this year is going to be a nightmare. So for around Christmas, I'll probably have to record a lot of videos ahead of time. That way I can like afford to take a few weeks off. So the videos that you see around Christmas might be from a ways back. It all depends on how things go. Last year I kind of left the channel and I just kind of disappeared for like 3 months. And that will probably be something that happens on occasion because I don't do this as an actual job. It's largely just a hobby at the moment. But on occasion I just kind of randomly disappear without a trace. And it's not something that I mean to do. It's just kind of something that life throws at me. I'll start focusing more on my outdoor hobbies, and I'll go out kayaking. I'll kind of take more interest in some of the comics that I'm making, and I'll just kind of like the YouTube channel will probably just take kind of a back seat because video games are this type of game right here is basically all I play anymore. Just transporting cargo from point A to point B because it's all I'm really interested in anymore. These quote unquote dad games, as they're called. Eventually, I'll need to find something else besides Sailwind. Because if I play too much of one thing, I'm just going to get burnt out with it to the point I'm not going to want to return to it. Because I've done it like 10 million times. So I think once the mail courier is complete, I'll probably look into doing something else. This might be the first series where I actually try and make it to Kronos. I don't know yet though. That's a long way off. To be fair, that's a very long way off. Now, I've seen pictures of Mount Malefic smoking in the past. I don't know if it, like, smokes at random points throughout the playthrough, or if it was a mod that someone was showcasing where the smoke was coming from. So I don't know if I've ever seen the smoke coming from Mount Malefic with my own eyes. It's possible that I have, but I don't remember it. Ah, I want that setup. That's going to be so much easier and so much better. Just so much more efficient with the wind. Okay. Go ahead and start reeling this in. There we go. Oh, we're still quite a long ways away from the dock. All right. Let's tie you up there. And then we can tie you up here. So yeah, in this playthrough, we're basically just an honest man trying to make an honest living, trying to take care of his family. We're not pirates, we're not smugglers, we're not really a merchant of any description. We're basically just a mail courier. Also, why am I going to the building without any kind of mail? Susie Magoo and Timmy McGee need their letters. There you go. I have another mod that's clearly not working because it's supposed to make it to where you can't just deliver your packages like this. It's supposed to work the same way that you would trade that it would with the book, with a trade book. Okay, so do I want to sleep on the ship? Yeah, I might as well. Okay, so we have mail going back to Sunspire as well as Fort Aestrin. So I keep saying Sunspire, not Siren. It's Siren Song, Dalton. It's your character's home, for crying out loud. Okay, so this one's going to go on the bottom. Character's getting tired in the game. I'm getting kind of tired in real life, if I'm going to be honest. Okay, let's go ahead and release the mainsail. Ouchie! Oh, that didn't sound good. That sounded quite painful, actually. Sounds like... Yeah, I don't think the square sail is really going to be doing us any good here, so... I'll just go ahead and raise it up. And I'll also just even this out, too. However, what I can do is I shall go ahead and... That's the wrong thing. Look at that nice and tight. And yeah, I think I shall go to bed. I'll also take the cheese, too. I'll go to bed, and I'll see you guys in the morning. Good morning once again, ladies and gentlemen. It is currently dawn of the third day of our voyage. And things are looking bright. So far, there's been no severe weather of any kind. And I think that's the boat that we were behind, way up there in the distance. It's kind of crazy how far you can zoom in on something with just the edges of the screen. Yeah, I'm kind of wishing I had a gaff sail right now, but this was how the previous person who was running the ship wanted this thing outfitted, and the company didn't throw me a bone and outfit the ship accordingly before they gave it to me, so I'm relying on this little jib sail here. Once I've made enough money for the company, I think I'm going to go ahead and put in a request for maybe a Genoa sail, or bare minimum getting a gaff sail. That would be extremely useful. It'll help getting from point A to point B really quick. I believe also, by the way, while I'm thinking about it, I believe also you can use wells in towns to refill these water barrels, which would actually be extremely useful. I assume it also works on bottles as well, which all of these are completely empty now. I could stop and maybe get some more drinks over there at Sunspire, but yeah, it's too far out of the way. I don't want to go over there. On top of that, they don't sell water, I don't believe. Some potential thumbnail shots right there. Actually, I wonder. I maybe... I think that should be a good enough angle. It's going to push the ship towards the starboard a little bit, but yeah, it's going to pick up our speed a decent amount at least, which works for me. Are we catching up to that boat, or did it turn around? I think it turned around. Should also really be standing underneath here so I don't get a sunburn. So I think after this mission, we should be up to 300 in terms of reputation. Which doesn't really mean anything in this playthrough because I can't start trading. The best way for me to make a lot of money quickly in this is probably going to be doing like international missions. Like taking mail from, say, here to the Emerald Archipelago and then back up to Aestrin. I don't know if I'm going to allow myself to do circuits, like go from Aestrin down to the Emerald Archipelago, then go from the Emerald Archipelago over to Alonk. I think all mail is going to have to come from Aestrin to somewhere else, and then it's going to have to go. It's going to have to go all the way back up to Aestrin. Like I can't take mail from the Emerald Archipelago to Alonk or vice versa. It has to come and go from the Aestrin region. I can take mail back to Aestrin, but yeah, like mail. If I want to go to a different region, I have to take mail from Aestrin down to a different area. That's basically what I'm trying to get at. Um, so yeah, it's going to make travel very interesting for this playthrough. Let me see here. Game, will you cooperate? Thank you. So that's going to be 59.90. So basically 150 extra coins. A few more missions for the company, and we should be able to get a new gaff sale. Okay, well, the capital city is finally, like, within viewing range. Unfortunately, we have to... Well, we might be able to keep a decent amount of speed. I was gonna say, we're gonna have to, like, roll up the square sail to get to where we want to go, but I think we should be okay, actually. It's not ideal, but it's better than having to roll it up. Right now, it's definitely not doing us any good. I think the gap sail is definitely going to be the #1 priority for this ship. I'm going to have to raise it up with a company at some point or another. Yeah, that's completely tight. This is pretty much going to be our max speed for a bit. Alright, give me one of these. I might be able to take a nap in the time that it takes us to get to Fort Aestrin. Oh. Well, that's not what you want to see, like, waking up to. That's not what you want. That's not at all what you want to wake up to. Hiya! Come on, turn, please. Please. Get away from the rock. There we go. You don't want to smell what that rock's been cooking. Let's make the turn. Let's roll this up. Ah, there's the brig that's been for sale for the past several years. I think our character has had his eyes on it for a while. At some point, he'd like to buy it and make it his own. But that's not for a long, long, long way to go. There's a lot of money that needs to flow through our hands before we can actually afford that thing. I'm going to try and swing in and have the ship facing outwards so we can just depart a lot easier. Alright, I think we can start. Yeah. Start comfortably making this turn. And let's make the turn here. Start reeling in. Very good. No, 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 none of that. None of that, please. No, thank you. I would rather not be impaled if at all possible. If at all avoidable. Alright, do you have any mail going to, do you have any mail at all? Rice, oranges. Ah, here we go. That will do it. Can I take... Okay, not quite enough reputation. What is our reputation at? 242. Okay. Alright, while we're here, I'm going to go run to the tavern and... Number one, sell some of these old bottles. And number two, get some more drinks of water. You can sprint in the game, but be aware that it drains your thirst. If you're swimming, it drains your hunger and your thirst. So I'm just going to walk everywhere for the time being. Yep, you can have these. Thank you. And I'll go ahead and buy some bread as well. Okay, I will will buy that, I will buy that, and I shall buy this. Thank you very much. And tell you what, pleasure doing business with you. I think once we've made enough, like, I think at 500 Aestrin crowns, we should have enough to comfortably say that the company has enough to upgrade the ship a bit. But for right now, we don't. The wind is blowing almost straight ahead. Not quite, but almost. Right. There we go. And I think our character can sleep once again. Um, what the heck just happened? The boat just randomly flipped over upside down. What in the world? Um, that is a save I think I'm going to reboot, because that's a bunch of BS. Hey, here we go. Let's try this again. Okay, well, we woke up to the wind being in a very bad mood. In fact, I think I'm going to pull the mainsail in just a little bit. And I'm going to release this. Alright, but we're almost home. We've almost done almost the full circuit. The only island we didn't get in this episode was Eastwind. But our character has been out at sea for several days now. I think he's earned some time to be at home. He can go back and brag to his friends and his family that he finally has his dream job and he's excited for the future. It is currently 20 past 10 o'clock at night for me. I am absolutely ready for bed, especially after the day I've had. Then I have to wake up somewhat early tomorrow morning and start getting ready for Thanksgiving with my folks. I do love the rainbows in this game, by the way. They're so vivid. It's something I wish we got to see more often where I live, but we get so little rain here that honestly, I don't know if I've seen a rainbow the last several times that it's even rained. There's only been one time in my life where I've seen a full rainbow like this, and I would give anything to go back and see it again. God, it was just gorgeous. It was breathtaking. There we go. Release that like that, and then bring that in like that. There we go. And truth be told, I think you could probably do with being released a bit more. Yeah. So this will be like the big advantage with this particular run is that it's raining. I should put the mail back here, honestly. All of our cargo is going to be extremely light. Like, this will not be a heavy run at all. Eventually, however, I imagine, like, once we buy the brig, or once we buy some other ship, and we can officially call it our own, the game will kind of branch out. We can do whatever we want at that point, because we'll basically be our own boss, but the brig, I think, is something that our character has definitely had his eyes on for a while. It's just nobody could afford it. Well, he wants to make some changes. He wants to sell the open seas. Working for a company at first so he can get some experience, but once he's ready, I think he wants to work for himself. Become his own boss. Make all the money he wants. Alright, let's go ahead and start raising up the mainsail. At least the mail is still dry, that's all that matters. That would be kind of a cool mechanic for products like this, where you obviously don't want it to get wet. If you left it out in the rain, maybe it could take damage over time. That would be kind of a cool mechanic to add to the game. It'd make the ships that have underdecks a lot more useful if you had to keep things out of the elements. Or maybe if you're hauling fruit and you have them exposed to the sun for too long, they can dry up. Just random things to kind of think about. Okay. All right. Let's do that, and then we can do this. Jeffrey! Jeffy boy! I've got mail for you. And if it's alright with you, I'm going to take a couple days off. Go home and talk to my family for a little bit. But I'm afraid you, ladies and gentlemen, will not be able to join me for that. It's a very private affair. I can't have you guys, meeting the family just yet. Maybe the girlfriend, I don't really know yet. But that's going to wrap it up for this episode. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, please leave a like, leave a comment. And if you want to see more content from me, consider subscribing to the channel, because I do have more on the way. And once again, I do hope you have a fantastic Thanksgiving. Stay safe out there, watch after yourselves, and until next time, guys, God bless, take care of yourselves. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye!